What's the first thing you'd do if a disaster struck right now? If you're like most people, your instincts might actually be your worst enemy. Today, we're diving into the critical mistakes nearly everyone makes during a crisis and how to override those impulses to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. It's not about being a superhero, it's about being smart. Let's start with the big one, the normalcy bias. This is that little voice in your head that says, "It can't be that bad," or "This will all blow over soon." When the fire alarm blares, how many people immediately evacuate? Not many. Most look around, check their phones, or wait for others to react. In a real disaster, that hesitation can be fatal. Seconds count. The normalcy bias convinces us to downplay threats. We see rising floodwaters and think, "It won't reach our house." We hear tornado sirens and think, "It'll probably miss us." This psychological trap is responsible for countless preventable tragedies. The solution? A simple rule. When you receive an official warning, act immediately. Don't wait for confirmation, don't second-guess the experts. Your first move should always be to follow the evacuation order or safety instruction. Treat every alarm like it's the real deal. Next up is a phenomenon called groupthink, or the herding instinct. Humans are social creatures. In uncertain situations, we look to others for cues on how to behave. If everyone around you is panicking and running in one direction, your brain will scream at you to do the same, even if it's straight into danger. Think of a crowded theater during a fire. People might stampede toward the main entrance they came in through, completely ignoring closer, less crowded emergency exits. They're following the herd. This is where your individual preparation becomes a superpower. Before you enter any large venue, a mall, a stadium, a concert hall, take 30 seconds to locate at least 2 exits. Mentally map your route. In a crisis, while everyone else is blindly following the panicked crowd, you'll have a pre-planned escape route. You need to be the one who breaks from the herd and moves towards safety, not just toward the largest group of people. Another huge mistake is analysis paralysis. This happens when you're faced with too many choices and too much information. Your brain just freezes. Should I bug out or hunker down? Should I take the highway or the back roads? What should I pack? While you're stuck debating the perfect plan, the window of opportunity to act safely is closing. The key here is to make your decisions before the disaster. Have a go bag packed and ready. Have a primary and a secondary evacuation route planned. Decide ahead of time what conditions would trigger you to leave versus staying put. By doing the thinking when you're calm and rational, you can just execute the plan when you're under stress. Your pre-made plan might not be 100% perfect for the situation, but a good plan executed now is infinitely better than a perfect plan you never get to because you waited too long. Let's talk about communication, or rather, the failure of it. When a disaster hits, what's the first thing everyone does? They pull out their phones to call loved ones. This instantly overwhelms the cell networks. Your call won't go through, and you've just contributed to a system-wide crash that prevents emergency responders from communicating. Here's the smarter, science-backed approach. Use text messages, not calls. Texts use far less bandwidth and are more likely to get through on a congested network. Even better, establish an out-of-state contact person before a disaster. It's much easier for everyone in your family to call or text one person who is far away from the affected area than it is to try and reach each other locally. This single point of contact can then relay information and confirm everyone's status. It's a simple, low-tech solution that works wonders when modern infrastructure fails. Another critical error is resource mismanagement, specifically water. People drastically underestimate how much water they need. You see it all the time. A hurricane is coming, and the store shelves are cleared of bottled water. But many people only grab a single case, thinking it's enough. The official recommendation is 1 gallon of water per person per day. That's for drinking and basic sanitation. So a family of 4 needs 4 gallons a day. For a recommended 3-day supply, that's 12 gallons. Now, look at that flimsy case of 24 small bottles. It's barely over 1.5 gallons. It's not even enough for one person for 2 days. Running out of water is not an option. It leads to dehydration, poor decision-making, and serious health issues within a very short time. Your priority in preparing should be securing a robust water supply, whether it's stored water or having a reliable filter to treat other sources. Don't make this common, life-threatening miscalculation. People also tend to focus on the wrong gear. They get caught up in buying fancy gadgets, tactical knives, and complex survival kits they don't know how to use. What's often overlooked, the absolute basics. A sturdy pair of closed-toe shoes. You can't evacuate through debris in flip-flops. Work gloves to protect your hands from glass and sharp objects. A simple N95 dust mask to protect your lungs from airborne particles after a fire or building collapse. And most importantly, a first aid kit and the knowledge to use it. You're far more likely to need to treat a cut, a burn, or a sprain than you are to need to build a shelter in the wilderness. Focus on the practical, everyday risks that are magnified in a disaster. Master the basics before you even think about the advanced stuff. Finally, a major psychological error is giving up hope or falling into a state of learned helplessness. After the initial shock, the reality of a long, difficult situation can set in. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and powerless, but your mindset is your most important survival tool. Survival psychology shows that people who maintain a positive mental attitude, who focus on small, achievable tasks, and who find a purpose, like helping others, have a much higher chance of making it through. Instead of thinking, we're doomed, think, what is the next single thing I can do to improve my situation? Maybe it's securing a loose tarp. Maybe it's checking on a neighbor. Maybe it's just boiling some water. These small victories build momentum and keep your mind engaged and focused on solutions, not the problem. Remember that help is often on the way, and your job is to bridge the gap until it arrives. If you're struggling with these feelings, it's a sign of strength, not weakness, to talk about it and seek support from those around you. So let's recap the critical mindset shifts. Stop waiting and act immediately on warnings. Stop following the crowd and use your own pre-planned escape routes. Stop freezing and execute the plan you made when you were calm. Stop clogging the phone lines and use text messages or an out-of-state contact. Stop underestimating your water needs and store more than you think you need. Stop obsessing over fancy gear and master the basics like first aid and proper footwear. And most of all, stop giving up and focus on the next small positive action you can take. Disasters are chaotic and terrifying, but your response doesn't have to be. By understanding these common psychological traps, you can consciously choose a better, safer course of action. It's all about preparation, both mental and physical. Thank you so much for watching. Taking the time to learn this stuff already puts you way ahead of the curve. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content that could one day make a real difference. Stay safe and stay prepared.